It's always good to be reminded of paragraphs 302 to 324 in the Catechism. I know that they are some of Father Hahn's favorites. And 302 to 324 in the Catechism of the Catholic Church explains the mystery of God's divine providence. That at every moment in our seemingly chaotic world, God is in complete control of everything. And I'm reminded of this reality today because only the Holy Spirit would be able to guide the church to make sure that these are the readings for today. As hopefully you all are aware, this is my last weekend here at St. Leo's. I and many other priests in our diocese and many other dioceses are moving to begin new assignments. And while I can't speak for any priest but myself, I imagine many of them feel similar to how I feel. That St. Leo's has been my home, and I love it here. You all welcomed me and made me feel very comfortable, and that's not an easy thing to walk away from. But as we hear these readings proclaimed today, I feel convicted, and maybe some of you might feel the same way, because God desires for all of us to grow in holiness. But growing in holiness can be incredibly difficult for many reasons. Sometimes we've grown comfortable in where we are on our path to holiness, asking, what if I seek the will of God and then He asks me to do something out of my comfort zone? What if God asks me to give up something, some sin maybe, that I'm not ready to face yet, or maybe not ready to let go of? This is what really is kind of at the heart of our second reading from St. Paul's second letter to the Corinthians. While we might feel at home in the body, we might feel comfortable where we are away from the Lord. That's ultimately where we know we need to be. And in order to get there, we have to discern the will of God courageously, to take that leap of faith. We have to step out of our comfort zone sometimes and walk by faith and not by sight. When the man in the parable in the gospel goes out to sow those seeds, he doesn't know exactly what's going to happen. He doesn't know which seeds are going to grow and which ones won't. But he doesn't need to. All he needs to know is that it is God's will that he goes out to sow those seeds. God is the one who takes it from there. The man doesn't force the seed to take root, to sprout, to bear fruit. God is the one who will decide which will bear fruit. We leave it up to Him. All He asks of us is to trust in Him. And when we do, incredible things can happen. If we give what little we can to God, He can do such great things through us. Look at the mustard seed, the smallest of all the seeds, and yet through the grace of God becomes the largest plant that affects the lives of so many. When a priest is ordained, the bishop says to him, "May God, who has begun the good work in you, bring it to fulfillment." But this is true for all of us. We all are working to accomplish the will of God in the world, and we continually strive to grow in holiness. We surrender to God everything that we have, even if that means we might have to leave behind where we might feel comfortable, trusting that although we don't know the future, we know that God will be there to guide us, and we will be at peace because we walk by faith and not by sight.